What was that again?
Well, I didn't say anything. You need to wait till I say something. Stupid.
Amazing reversing skills. I didn't knock down any children. Oh, come on, Bus. My granddad could drive faster than this and he's dead. It was an amber light! Oh! Oh my god! Absolute Egypt fanny wanker face. Oh my lord. Hey there lads and lasses, it's Mosco here bringing you another vlog. So today, I actually wanted to do something that I don't normally do.
Hey folks, Ray Gano here, and I am so glad to be here again, once again with Real Men Wear Kilts, and forgot to do it again. Oh my goodness. I got to get on me, Tam. And today we got a wonderful guest. I'm really excited to have her. It's Mosco Moon from YouTube, and she is one of Scotland's largest vloggers in Scotland. I mean, there's about 3 or 4 of them, but she's up there. I mean, and I love her videos. Her videos were great. And in fact, it was some of you in the group that actually mentioned Mosco to me and kind of encouraged me, hey man, why don't you go get an interview with Mosco or talk to her or something like that. So you asked and I'm doing it. So I'm glad to bring on today Mosco Moon, all the way from what, Glasgow, Scotland, or Livingston?
Livingston, Scotland.
How you doing, Mosco?
Yeah, doing very well. Very pleased to be here. So yeah, no, I'm really excited. Have you ever been interviewed before? Not like this. No, I've been in interviews, but usually it's for a job. So I don't think I've ever done anything quite like this before. So this is my first time. What do you think about your popularity? I just saw a picture on your Facebook page, getting a picture with one of your fans, and it was like, wow, man, this lady recognized me. How is it feeling being kind of a YouTube sensation or a YouTube star or something like that? Yeah, it's I mean, I think I've still got a very long way to go, but I've had a few recognitions, and I think people tend to get even more, like, I don't know, apprehensive than I do. So like usually when people say that, and they'll be like, it's usually very young children, which I don't know if that's a good thing because I swear a lot of my content, but it's usually very young children that notice me, and they'll say to their mothers, and it'll be their mothers that'll approach me as opposed to the actual children themselves. So I've been in that position once or twice. Very recently, actually, it happened at Wagamama's restaurant where the 2 kids had to leave for the mum to ask me if I was who they thought I was, and I was like, yeah. And then when they came back, I gave them a big wave and a big hello, and they were just like, and then sat down again. I was like, oh, they're so cute. Well, as you know, I run one of the largest kilt groups on Facebook, and a lot of my guys as well as gals enjoy kilts, enjoy Scotland, enjoy Scotch whiskey, enjoy tartan, enjoy a show called Outlander, which I think is just starting to show there in Scotland. All these things, and so one of the reasons that you're on is because you do some great videos about how to speak Scottish, how to speak slang, saying all the bad words in Scottish, and other things like that. Are you seeing a lot of tourism now and everything? Because Scotland really seems to be on everybody's mind and being on the map and such. Are you seeing a lot of Americans and Canadians and so forth coming and visiting? I think, to be honest, we've always had a lot of, especially Americans, coming to Scotland. So you tend not to get them in Livingston. I think Livingston is still very much quite a young town in terms of its size, even although it has grown a little bit in the last 10 years or so. So most people usually go to either Glasgow or Edinburgh, Edinburgh being for your people who are history buffs, total history buffs, because of the castle and everything sitting on top of the volcano. And so that seems to be where anytime I'm ever in Edinburgh, I always usually hear Americans all the time, every time. And usually I'll try and talk to them. I'll get the look like I'm some sort of complete creep sometimes. But I'll usually end up trying to guess where their accent is from America and then embarrass myself by getting it wrong. Or sometimes I'll get it right and then I'll whoop and I'll still embarrass myself by looking like a total fangirl. Because I love the American accent. So anytime I hear it, it's like my ears pop up and I'm like, oh, that's an American. Where are they? I need to go and speak to them. So no, it's really good. But yeah, Americans tend to go to Edinburgh.
What does my accent sound like? I know I don't really have a Texas accent, or maybe I do. I'm not sure. I don't have that Texas twang, you know?
Yeah. Maybe that's just my stereotypical understanding of the Texas accent, because I'm guessing obviously Texas is massive. It's probably, Scotland could probably fit inside Texas comfortably 2 or 3 times. So I feel like there's got to be loads of different types of Texas accents. But if I was to guess where your accent was from, I'd probably guess it would have been somewhere like Ohio and totally just, yeah, cringed.
Originally, I'm from California. I was raised in the San Francisco Bay Area, and then I moved to Texas as fast as I could. I met my wife actually on the internet way back before internet dating was cool. So, but yeah, I'm originally from California, but I am picking up a lot of the Texas speak, and I use y'all a lot. You guys use guys.
Use guys, yeah.
Guys. So, with all this and everything, when you see a lot of the American tourists and stuff, do you see them wearing kilts and everything?
Tend not to know. I think depending on where in America you come from, Scotland can be a bit of a shock in terms of how much rain there is and the cold winds that whap the rain about your ankles if you are wearing kilts. And I think that can upset some people. So whenever I find Americans over here, they are not dressed like the Scots are dressed. But I don't think that's ever because of, I think if they wanted to come here and wear their kilts, definitely should. But I think in terms of it's our dynamic, I mean, it rains almost 250 days out of the year in Scotland. So it's a bit cold and a bit wet if you're not used to the climate. A bit dreich.
A bit dreich?
A bit dreich.
Dreich. Do you own a kilt?
I guess the kilt's more of a definition for the men that wear it. So I do own several sort of female tartan skirts. They're not really classed as kilts as such, but effectively you can kind of call them that and get away with it, a female kilt. I own 3, I think.
Do you have any like clan tartans or anything? Or I don't know your last name, so Moon, is there the Moon tartan or anything like that?
So no, we're quite lucky that in the sense of the YouTube channel, We Scottish Lass, we've got a We Scottish group on Facebook. And through that group, we decided that it'd be a really good idea for the channel branding to have its own unique tartan. So I came up with a bunch of designs and I posted them on the group and I got loads of people to vote on them. So I think there were 6 in total that I put up, but everybody preferred the more traditional red looking tartan. So a red tartan was selected and I got it registered. I paid to have it registered with the Scottish Tartan Registry. So now We Scottish Tartan is an actual registered tartan of Scotland that is for the YouTube channel.
How cool. So are you going to have like a skirt and scarf and everything maybe made out of that tartan?
I'd love to have a scarf made, but it's so much money to get the tartan woven. It was like I was getting quotes and they're talking like 600, 800 pounds. And I'm like, at the moment, because I'm trying to save up to go traveling and I was saving up for this laptop as well, I was like, I'm not really in the place right now that I'll be able to do that, but definitely in the future is something that I'm definitely going to do. I'm maybe even thinking about having the tartan design featured on a t-shirt in the future as well.
Oh, awesome. How cool is that? Maybe what you can do is do a Patreon campaign or something like that and get it going. I know that I'll promote and help fund the tartan campaign if you wish to do something like that. But over there, do you, if a gent is or a man is wearing a kilt and everything, does he get razzed or does he get, catcalled at, or does he, hey, sissy boy?
Oh, nothing to do with sissy boy. No way. Nobody over here has the audacity to ever speak down to somebody who's wearing a kilt. That's like a huge thing. So you never have to worry about that. And if they do, then they're obviously really young, and they need to be properly taught a lesson, and the men in the kilts will usually do that. So quite painfully, but no, guys don't have to worry about that. But getting catcalled, they may get catcalled, yeah, by girls, because it's like almost role reversal type of thing. But it's more for fun than for seriousness usually.
So are the girls always wondering, what's underneath the kilt or what?
I think a lot of the Scottish girls know what should be under a kilt because, as I've said in a video before, if you're wearing underwear underneath your kilt, you'll be fined 2 cans of beer. It's against the law. So I think most women can imagine what's under the kilt. But yes, I think that just makes the catcalling worse, to be honest.
Let's talk a little bit about coming over and visiting Scotland. And in fact, tell me what, you say you're saving up for travel. Are you thinking about coming to the United States?
Yeah, so I've been in love with the United States since I went to Boston. So I went to Boston back in 2014, I think it was. It was a few years ago now. And everything about America I just loved. Like, I think it's because I grew up watching a lot of American TV programs, and so the accents, the culture, even just something simple and stupid like the places to eat. I got so excited when I went into a Wendy's, like so proper excited that these fries, because they're fries, had a potato skin on them. And I was taking pictures, and I just got really really emotional about it almost. But Boston it holds a huge place in my heart because it was one of the first places I ever went in the world, like on a plane by myself, and it was a huge journey for me. So yes, so when I go traveling, I'm going to be spending a month in Japan, 3 weeks in New Zealand, a month in Australia, and then 3 months in America, touring as many states as I can.
So is Texas in your bucket list to tour?
Yes, I actually have a friend who I love very much, Alison, who lives in Texas, and I really, really, really want to go and visit her. So yes, Texas is, you guys have the same sense of humor, I think, in Texas as well as we do. It's a very crude and cruel sense of humor. So I have to come to Texas when I go.
Where, if you don't mind me asking, where does she live?
Thankfully, I think it's very close to Dallas, if not already in Dallas. I'll find out the exact specifics very soon.
So any chances that you might make it down to Houston at all? If you do, we'd love to take you out and show you around and have a special meet and greet just for Mosco Moon. Get a lot of our kilted folks here and such.
Is Houston where the NASA stuff is?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, then I'll definitely be coming there. So that's something that we can talk about and arrange. That'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great. So what does Scots think about Americans coming over and visiting? I mean, does it, because I know some countries just don't like Americans, but is Scotland rather open and everything, or do you just put up with us?
I think, to be honest, it depends on the person. To be completely fair, I think most Americans who I've met have had such great experiences in Scotland because, for the most part, Scottish people are very, very, very friendly. But there are those 1 or 2 areas where maybe the youth aren't as educated as they should be, and they seem to think it's appropriate to train your dogs to fight each other and to wear grey tracksuits out in the street, like pajamas out in the street, whilst drinking Buckfast, which is a ridiculous alcoholic drink, with their Burberry caps on backwards. We call them NEDs. It stands for non-educated delinquents. Yeah. And those are the people that you really want to try to avoid, because if you run into them, they're the ones that will gripe to you about being American. But it doesn't matter where you're from in the world, they'll still hate you. You could be from Scotland and they'll hate you. So yeah, I've read a lot or seen a lot, and I've seen you complain a lot about the NEDs as well. We're walking around. Let's play a game here. We're walking around and we're hungry. What sort of food would you take us to if you were my tour guide and we're, say, in Livingston or Edinburgh? Where would you take me to eat, or what sort of food do you like? Oh, well, if you're coming here, you have to. I would take you straight into a chippy, and I would order you battered haggis and chips with brown sauce and a bottle of Iron Brew. That would be, because I feel like there's no bigger declaration of Scottish than all of those things together.
I've seen some videos, these guys, it's like a big box of fried stuff. What is that?
A munchie box. Yeah, you get them from the chippies, and it's basically like your giant pizza boxes, and it's got an assortment of chips, kebab meat, maybe like pakora. It's got maybe battered mushrooms. It might have some battered sausages, wedgies, like just loads of stuff just fried in this box, and it's called a munchie box.
So speaking of fried, have you ever done like the fried Mars bar or fried pizza or some of the other, what's the weirdest fried thing you've ever had?
So your fried Mars bar, I keep meaning to try it. I've not had one yet, but I've actually heard they're not as bad as you would think they are. So they're on my bucket list to try, because I feel like as a Scot I need to at least try it once. But deep fried pizzas, by the way, it's called a scrunchie, and you dip a pizza, you take a pizza and you dip it in batter and then you deep fry it, the full pizza. So it can be like, it's usually your small 10-inch pizzas that they do it with, or half a 10-inch pizza. And it's called a scrunchie, and it's one of the most delicious things you'll probably ever. It is a heart attack on a plate, but it's a fun heart attack on a plate.
How cool! What a good idea. I've seen some of these videos, and they're eating deep fried pizza, and it's like, what the heck is that, man? And I can't imagine the taste, but you're actually the second person who's told me that it's absolutely delicious. So when I come over, I've got to try one of those. Haggis, yes or no?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I had haggis today for my breakfast. I had it on Tuesday as well for my breakfast. And yeah, no, you have to have haggis.
So where do you get haggis? Do you get the haggis out of the can, or you go down to the butcher, or the haggis store, or hunt it?
Yeah, we go out and we hunt it. That's what you do. To be fair, they serve it almost everywhere. So haggis is really common in Scotland. It's not hard to come across. So in my work, they sell haggis in the canteen for breakfast. So you'll get haggis, you get tatty scones, which are like thin potato pancake things cut into, they're like triangle shaped. You get them, you get sausages and stuff all for your breakfast, eggs and yeah, so I usually get haggis, tatty scones and a fried egg for my breakfast with a bottle of Iron Brew. That is my breakfast at work.
Wow. Black pudding or square sausage. What's that?
So black pudding is, it's like the blood of the pig, hardened and then fried off. I've only had black pudding a couple of times, and it's actually kind of tasty. It tastes like pig almost, but it's crunchier. It's really good. I would still say it was worth trying. And square sausage is just sausage meat, but packed into like a meatloaf type dish and then sliced like that. So you've got squares, but the squares fit onto like a roll perfectly. So you can have a rolling sausage with the sausage taking up the bulk of the roll. Interesting.
You mentioned Iron Brew. You're a consumer or a drinker of Iron Brew?
Love Iron Brew. It's it's such a bad habit to have though, and I'm struggling to kick it. I can't find something to replace it. So I think I lasted 3 days without drinking it, and I was straight back on it again. So I'm 1 to 2 bottles a day, like the small 500 ml bottles, but I'm usually 1 or 2 of those a day, and that's my caffeine fix sorted.
There's in America we have something called Mountain Dew. I don't know if you have it in Scotland or anything, but that's got a pretty high caffeine taste and everything. Does Iron Brew have a taste like that? What does it taste like? I've never had it.
I think Mountain Dew, from what I remember the last time I had Mountain Dew, I think it's got much more of a startling taste. Like it hits you quite. I think most energy drinks are like that though, when you drink them like Red Bull and everything, you get hit with a flavour. Iron Brew is a bit more subtle than that, and the same with cola as well. Cola has its very iconic aftertaste. Iron Brew is nice in the sense that it's a little bit more relaxed and subtle. Some people say it tastes like oranges, some people say bubblegum. Personally, I think it just tastes like sugar. It just tastes like really good sugar and caffeine, and that's your morning started.
We talked a little bit off air about whiskey. Are you a partaker of the water of life?
Not so much, but I have a reason as to why. So when I was 16, maybe I was 15. I might have been 15 actually, and I text my mum. I was at this barbecue in Bathgate, and I text my mum and I was like, "Mum, the older kids here are having a drink. They're playing a drinking game." And it was like snakes and ladders, but with shot glasses. And I was like, "Oh, can I play? Can I have a drink too?" And my mum texted me back straight away and she was like, "What are they drinking?" And I'm clueless to alcohol. So I asked them, "What are you drinking?" And they're like, "Oh, famous grouse Scotch whiskey." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I texted my mum back. I took a picture of it, famous grouse, and sent it to her. And she went, "Aye, hen, when you go, you just have a wee shot of that." One shot and I nearly threw up, and I didn't touch alcohol again until I was like 17, 18.
So you're not a whiskey drinker then?
No, after that experience, no.
Fringe Fest is going on. In fact, I have a number of my group members over there in Scotland right now, and they're attending the fest in Edinburgh. Any special things that you can tell my folks, because they're going to be watching this video while they're over there as well, or anything that you like to do, or anything that is that stands out to you with Fringe Fest?
The whole atmosphere of Fringe Fest, and if they're over there experiencing it just now, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I think we see it as such a transition as well, because we see the quiet, lazy town of Edinburgh before, and then during the festival it just blows up. And it's the Royal Mile which is a stretch of cobbled street right up till the castle. That's where the bulk of the festival kind of takes place. And my idea of the perfect day of a Fringe festival is walking down the Royal Mile, getting handed a whole bunch of leaflets, deciding which free show is the best one to go and see. And even if it ends up being utterly terrible, you usually end up laughing about it anyway. So I just go and see all the free shows with the Fringe festival.
Do you, being Scottish, do you enjoy the pipes? Do you enjoy bagpipes? And there's a couple bands that I personally like, Albanach and another one called Clandonia. I guess you'd call them tribal sort of Scottish bands. What's your take on pipes and Scottish bands and so forth?
Yeah, I love the bagpipes personally. I don't know, I grew up listening to bagpipe themed music and things, and to me it was always a thing of happiness, because we have round about Scotland you've got little towns, and each town has a gala-day, and these little gala-day events are kind of like, I guess, state fairs, but much smaller, like really small in comparison to state fairs. But each one always begins with a parade, and every parade begins with bagpipes. So I'd be at my grand's house and we'd be waiting for the parade to start, and you would hear the bagpipes before you saw anything. We'd run to her window and you would see the parade marching down, but it would all be bagpipers and kilts leading it. So it just reminds me that the sound of bagpipes reminds me of my childhood and sort of growing up, and the excitement of the gala days when they arrive.
You're in a pub at night and whooping it up and stuff. All of a sudden 500 Miles comes on. What do you do?
Sing along. You have to at least sing along. If you're not getting off your seat to dance, then you need to sing along.
Do me a favor, let's switch gears here a little bit and actually talk a little bit about your channel. How long have you been broadcasting on YouTube now? So
broadcasting, I guess, can go back to almost 7 years ago, but we won't talk about those videos. But on my channel, We Scottish Lass, it's been the last 3 years, but I've only really been seriously getting into it for like the last kind of 2 years. That's when I started to really pick up the pace and see value in putting content out, and the reactions that I was getting back from people, and people finding it entertaining but also really useful as well. And that was when I was like, there is something to be done here. There's a sort of market of people looking out for this kind of content. And then I met Erin, who does very similar content to what I do as well, Erin Dugan, and Sean Vlog as well, Mr. Gavin Bell. There's a lot of Scottish YouTubers now that are on the rise that do very similar content. And I think it's the great thing about having loads of choice here as well for any audience is that they can get confirmation in what we're each saying is true, because we're each kind of saying the same or similar kind of things. We also get to a different tone with each different personality from the people that are delivering the vlogs as well. So yeah, the last 2 years I've started to really get into it.
Well, it's interesting that you mention Sean and Aaron, because I subscribe to their channels as well. And so every day I'm getting up and it's like, okay, who's got the new show on, so I can go watch them. But I love all your shows. And I think probably the funniest one that I love, in fact, I posted it to the group, was your road rage video. That was hilarious. I totally died laughing on that one.
Apparently Scottish people have terrible road rage. Mate, could you go any slower? My gran walks faster than this. Indicate! And does it kill you? Would it no, does it electrocute you every single time you touch the little indicator button? No, well then fucking do it. Why would we indicate? Why? Why? That would tell people where we're going. That would make driving easier. You don't need a degree in indicating to be able to do it. It's like, I'll just come up to the roundabout, yeah, and just wait for all the pricks to just drive wherever they're going. Oh, wait, no, I don't need to. I've got my crystal ball. Oh my god, this learner is just, you shouldn't be on the road. Oh my god, here comes that Audi driver up my backside. I'm gonna go slow, mate. I'm gonna go slow just to piss you off. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Oh no, there's traffic on the other side of the road. You can't overtake me. Oh, I'm one of those drivers that really annoy you, aren't I? Oh no, why should, poor you, oh, you're going a different way. This video is just gonna be full of me swearing. It's gonna be like a Jenna Marble wannabe video. I just bump that shiny behind of it. Do you think you'll drive faster? Well done you could drive, congratulations. You could drive, well done you, so clever. Amazing reversing skills, I didn't knock down any children. How to win an argument. Number 1, have a vagina. Done. My eyebrows need wax. Turn it here. Asshole. What's the maggot face doing? Who the f puts down a diversion and then has temporary traffic lights on the route of the diversion? Something that should have taken 30 seconds is now taken 15 minutes. Well done, council. Well done. I never got the hang of that with colouring either. I could never colour inside the lines. So I don't know how people expect me to drive inside the lines. I think this bus is stalking me. I know that I'm behind it, but it's stalking me. Oh, come on, bus. My granddad could drive faster than this and he's dead. Oh, come on, we could go faster than this. This is a 40. Why are we doing 30 miles an hour? What the heck is that? What is that? Like cardboard and polystyrene. There are better places to leave your shit, Scotland. Oh, it's that white car. I'm getting stuck behind. Great. Grand. Fan. Babby dozy. Somebody overtake it. Somebody overtake the shitty learner. Oh, I hate cyclists at the side of the road. Now, if you cycle, great. Good for you, good for you. But to the rest of us who drive cars, we just drive past you thinking, organ donor. Hurry up, or I'm going to bash into the back of you. Move, 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 move. You could have went. It was an amber. Ambers don't mean stop. Ambers mean just go faster. Go, 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 go. It's not a red light, it's a green light. Go, 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 go. It was an amber light. Oh, oh my god. Amber, you can still go. Oh. Absolute Egypt fanny wanker face. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Why on earth would you set up a fucking diversion and then put temporary traffic lights halfway through? I'm going here all day.
Do you know that one actually got posted into a Scotland's Worst Driver webpage, like actual website for Scotland's Worst Drivers, but the guy who put it up there was having a laugh. He was like, oh, and watch out for this wee raging Scottish lass on the roads. And every other post after that is like actual terrible drivers. But he just paused the tone for 1 second to go, and this girl's blah, blah, blah. But it generated quite a bit of backlash on the video as well. There's a lot of people started commenting on the video after that being like, you should concentrate on the road more than instead of like shouting at people. And I'm like, well, if I wouldn't have to shout at people if people could blink and drive, would I?
You make it great here in Texas. I mean, here we have horrible roads just down the road all the time. A little bit better. The thing about here in Texas too is everybody has guns, so you don't want to be too boisterous or anything like that. What caused you to decide to, did you wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm going to be a YouTube star"? What made you do this?
That's a good question. So it was actually when I was about 15 years old, and it was not long after YouTube was born. So this was back in 2005, and it was one of my friends. I was like, oh, I really want to find this song, and one of my friends at school was like, oh, you should YouTube it, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went onto YouTube that night, and I came across a video, and it was like this Dragon Ball. Somebody had edited scenes of Dragon Ball Z to this song. And I remember watching it and thinking it was amazing how they could take a movie like that and chop it up and put it to song lyrics. So it was on the back of that I started learning how to edit, and I made my own version of those videos for things like Lion King and other Disney classics. And that was really my practice. That was my starting point for media. And then I went to study media at college. And then I was like, well, there's not really any jobs for media in Scotland, and I love the job that I do just now full time. So I was like, as a hobby, YouTube would be quite a good idea. So I decided to just, go for it. I did post a video ages ago, and it was just for a friend who was wanting to hear the Scottish accent. So I did a video for her, put it up, and then went back to it a few years later and realised that it had something like over 50,000 views, which at the time was a lot. So I was like, wow, there's really a market here. There's a niche open for this kind of content, and that was when I decided to put my media-based stuff to use.
So you enjoy doing it. It's a hobby and everything. And do you want to one day, when you grow up, be a true YouTube star and make millions of dollars and everything, or do you just want to stay at the job that you're at and just maintain doing it as a hobby?
To be honest, if I had the choice, I would love to do YouTube full time, because it means that I'd be able to put out more content and reach more people. The thought scares me as well. There's a lot of fear to go along with that kind of thing, knowing that there's so many people watching your videos and waiting for the next video, and the fact that you'll potentially never really be able to stop. And if you do, you might get backlash, because I know PewDiePie had that. And even small channels that have stopped have still received kind of backlash over their decisions to quit. So there's that thought that's always floating about my head. But as much as I love the company I work for just now, YouTube would be a great alternative, because then I could set my own hours, I could work for myself, and obviously my subscribers, that would be who I'd be working for. But right now, as much as I love my job, the hours are very taxing, and it makes it very difficult to have any kind of social life outside of work, or to even get yourself into a routine for diet or exercise or eating. It's all been very challenging.
Have you ever been approached by one of the YouTube networks? There's networks out there on YouTube, and you can raise higher advertising fees and everything. Do you work for a network or anything? Or would you like to work for a network?
Personally, no, not unless I found one that was all about about the same kind of content as me. I've been approached by so many networks, and half the time I just send emails straight to my spam box, because it's clearly copied and pasted. They don't care. They don't care about me. They don't care about my content. They don't care about my subscribers, and that to me is not good enough. But I feel like if a network genuinely approached me and was like, hey, Mosco, obviously knowing straight away that they've watched one of my videos to know what I go by on my YouTube channel, and then proceeded to talk about how their network would benefit my viewers, then I would potentially be inclined to actually join them. But most of the time it's copy and pasted messages. They don't care, so I don't care.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Different direction a little bit here. 5 things you like about Scotland.
Tartan, because I've got tartan jammy bottoms on just now. Tartan, Iron Brew, haggis, the people. I'm never going to say the weather because it sucks. And what else could I say? Edinburgh, just as a whole, I really, really love the whole atmosphere of just Edinburgh in general.
So why do you love tartan?
I just think it's pretty. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've grown up with it, being around everywhere, and it reminds me of home. You know, anytime I have gone down to London, which was quite a lot going back a few years, but there would be no tartan anywhere, and I'd be looking around and be like, there's an obvious lack of tartan here. Like, who are your fashion designers? Where's the tartan? You can barely get Ironbrew in the shops, so it's just, I think it's going to be a comfort thing for me. When I go traveling, I'll be taking tartan jammy bottoms and tartan something else just to make sure that I've got something at home with me.
Tartan's actually rather popular here, especially here in Texas. In Texas, we have a lot of Scots here, or at least a lot of people like me who are Scottish heritage and proud of our heritage. And I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, what does Scotland and Scots think about all of us Americans who are, you know, we're Americans born and bred, but we love our Scottish roots? What does that seem weird to you guys?
I think you've got two kind of reactions here to that. You've got the Scots who are like, only true Scots are born in Scotland. No. And fair enough, they're entitled to their own opinion, even if it sucks. But then you've also got the flip side of that, where it's, you know, if people are genuinely that enthusiastic about Scotland, then kudos to you, you know, and who are we to say anything otherwise? And personally, I love it, and I know that everybody else I know really almost appreciates the fact that Americans are respectful of it, and that they care about it. And that was something, actually, when I went to Boston, we were on this sort of walking by this tour, and one of the girls had said to the tour group or whatever, she was like, yes, and this cathedral was built in like 1780 something or whatever, and I just couldn't help myself, and I says, oh, it's so young. And she was like, they all turned around to look at me, and I was like, yeah, I'm from Scotland. I have walls at the end of my street that are older than that. So no, but I think as long as you are enthusiastic and respectful, then there should be no pushback ever from Scottish people. And if they do their douches, and you have our permission to stick their head down any local gutter that you can find.
I love it. No, we us American Scots, or whatever you want to call us, or anything. We, in fact, on the end of the month is Sean Connery's birthday, and a bunch of us are getting together and wearing our kilts and doing whatever we do, and having a Sean Connery fest. And I mean, it's just anything to get together, wear kilts, drink scotch and beer, and whatever else we can do. But yeah, we're pretty passionate about our Scottish history. And in fact, where I live, we have one of the largest. Do you have Renaissance festivals in Scotland?
No, what's
it's a Renaissance Fest. A Renaissance festival is a festival where you dress up, say, in your favorite grim fairy tale person, or you dress up as a prince or a knight, and or you dress up as a Scot, or it's the Renaissance, and so you kind of dress up in period clothing and run around and drink ale out of a horn all day, and just do all kinds of, they have jousting at times and sword fighting, and then you'll usually see a pipe and drum band showing up there, or a tribal band showing up, and but a lot of things like that. That's what but where I live here is we have the largest Renaissance festival in all of the United States, and so yeah, we have a lot of Scots because of that. Because everybody should go to Fringe Fest, shows up in kilts and tartan and all this Lord of the Rings stuff, and Game of Thrones stuff, and so it's one of the crazy things we Americans do. But it goes from October all the way to, or end of September all the way to end of November.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
June, July, August, September. Maybe I'll be there around about that time. I'm trying to, like, in my head work out when I'm going to be in America, but maybe I will be there around about that time, because it'd be really cool to actually attend. If I could, do you have to buy tickets, or is it just like a show up thing?
You buy tickets, and you just buy tickets at the gate. And I don't want to say something that's like $10 or $15, something like that. It's not much, but I think if you show up in garb, in clothing, they give you a couple bucks off too. But it would be great if I speak
with a Scottish accent, do you think they'll give me money off?
You come on down and I'll buy you the ticket. Don't worry about it. We'll take you. No, I'm serious. If you do, come on down, show up, I'll buy you your ticket, and we can go all have fun together. But where are your oh gosh, you wore, I saw a picture of you as Link in Zelda.
Yes, cosplaying, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to fit into that outfit anymore, to be honest. That was going back a few years now.
But that's sort of the things. There is a lot of cosplay, and kind of like Renaissance cosplay, or Game of Thrones or Outlander, but it's a bunch of crazy people getting together and doing weird stuff and having fun, all dressed up and everything. But that's what we do at Fringe Fest and stuff. But yeah, if you are down here, you have my word. I'll get you in. We'll show you around, and also take you to probably some insane barbecue. Different. What are the 5 things that you love about America?
Oh, the accent, definitely. I've yet to find an American accent that I actually don't like. I think the closest one I can think of is probably your kind of redneck, when it's really thick and really put on, because I feel like TV sometimes makes it sound worse than it actually is. So I don't feel like proper rednecks speak that, but at least I don't think they do. But that's probably the only accent I think I found I'm a bit like, because I feel like it's too put on and it's too acted. Accents, I love all the accents I've heard so far. The fact that you guys can eat and clearly love food as much as we do, that for me is a huge thing, and certainly anything that's deep fried, I'm all for being Scottish. I think, what else do I love? Disney World, I've never been, but I want to go one day. I think as well some of your natural wonders, because we don't really have that much here in Scotland. Like, you've got the Munros and stuff up north, but you've not got anything that really stands out, whereas over there you've got like the Grand Canyon, you've got like the trying to remember them all off the top of my head, Mormont Valley and stuff as well, which are all things I'm going to come and see. So I'd probably say the natural things as well. What else about America? Your cons, like anime conventions, comic conventions, Disney conventions. We don't have much of that here, and it's a shame for somebody that's as big a fangirl as me, and all of the people that I love that do voice acting of my favourite characters and stuff. I have to come to America to meet them. So I've been totally obsessed recently with J. Michael Tatum, who voices a lot of anime characters that I love. And I've been steadily getting really obsessed with. I've been watching like loads of videos of him on YouTube and stuff, and he's so charismatic, and I want to meet him so bad in person. But I'm also like, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of miles away, and it's just, see, I think he comes from Texas actually. I think he was born somewhere in Texas, because he was talking a lot about the hurricanes and stuff too, or the tornadoes, sorry. So yeah, no, I think the conventions and the buzz, the absolute atmosphere that you guys have to take something like that and not be ashamed of it and let it just blow up. So you guys aren't afraid of your inner fangirl, whether it's something to do with Scotland or something to do with like Lord of the Rings or anything. Whereas over here we're a bit more conservative. People are like, yes, I do like Harry Potter. And that's about as far as they go. And I'm like, you like it or you love it, because you can love something and then you want to make like butterbeer and you want to try butterbeer. And I don't know, I think I was just born an American inside and I was just born in Scotland. I think that's my problem.
So like one of the famous, what you talk about crazy Americans, one of the things that we do, for example, oh gosh, what is Justice League is coming out here soon. The first couple days, what happens is people literally camp out for tickets but they also dress up. So you're going to see a ton of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I mean, total cosplay to the max, and everybody going to the movies on opening day or opening weekend. You know, you almost 9 times out of 10 you got to dress up, and that's just some of the things that we do here. When Lord of the Rings came out, oh my goodness, that was, and Star Wars, and but now with Justice League, or like Captain America and all that other stuff, the Marvel movies. That's, you know, people were dressing up like crazy on opening days and everything. So that's a lot of fun, and that's kind of the stuff that we do here in America is do that.
That's my kind of people. That honestly it is. So was it last year or the year before, Captain America Civil War came out, and it was a midnight showing, and me and my ex now, but at the time we were dating, we got tickets together to go and see this together. And when we went there, it was a case of like, I wanted to dress up and stuff, and he was reluctant to even put a t-shirt on that was reminiscent of, but I had my full Captain America t-shirt on and everything. And when we went there was 3 people dressed up. Out of that whole massive theatre, there was only 3 people dressed up, and one of them was dressed up like Black Widow, and she looked amazing. So I ran up and I was like, can I get a picture? And she was totally cool with it. It was really, really good. But there was only like a couple of people that had dressed up for it, and I just think it's such a shame, because, I mean, there's people wearing t-shirts like what I was, but I just feel like, come on, man, you know, like, just go for it.
And that's kind of the stuff that we do here, and it's fun. We enjoy dressing up. We work really hard, but we play really hard too. And I mean, do you see that in Scotland as well? Do you guys play hard? Or do you just go hit the pubs all the time?
Yeah, I think maybe it's just my generation, I don't know, but everybody else's version of fun is completely different to mine. So everybody else's version of fun is going and getting drunk, or I don't know, like sitting and watching Netflix and chill, which is fair enough. For me, my idea of fun is going cosplaying. My idea of fun is going to see a midnight showing is something that I just absolutely cannot wait. My idea of fun is being a zombie, and you know, and running about and chasing people as a professional zombie, or running through a game where you're shooting at zombies, or just, that's my idea of fun. And I feel like I mean, yeah, you can meet people at these places that obviously enjoy the same thing as you, but it's probably not anything like what you would have over there. And half of my friends, I've got like 24 colleagues at work, and they all know that about me. They all know that I have these quirks. So when they suggest night out and things, there's a good chance that I won't go or I won't drink if I do, because my idea is of spending money isn't wasting it on alcohol, it's saving it for something like this that I can really, really enjoy.
So your computer and everything like that, you've got that going, and what did you get? A Dell?
I got yeah, oh, he's beautiful. I've got a Dell, it's a Dell XPS 13, and it's like an i7. It was like 1,500 odd quid, but I wanted one that would last me a very long time, but would be light enough to travel. So I've went and got this little beauty. I'm still getting used to him. Windows 10 is quite a big step up from Windows 7, which is what I had before, and I really like Windows 7, so this is new. But yeah, so I wanted him so he could go traveling with me, and he weighs less than 2 pounds, so he's going to be perfect.
Is he good enough to do video and everything on and produce your video, or is that who you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's Haas enough.
Yeah, he rendered. No, I've never heard of it before, but he rendered my last vlog in 3 minutes. My old laptop would take about 40 to 50 minutes to render a video. So I know I put it up on Instagram. I was filming it because I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. This is so fast. So yeah.
Okay, 5 things. Well, I don't know if there's 5 things that you may hate about Scotland. And did I ask you that already?
Yes, no, you've not asked me that, but I do have 5 things that I hate about Scotland. The weather, the weather, the weather, the weather, and the weather.
Okay.
Pretty much it.
Not the Neds? Weather, Neds, weather, Neds?
They're distasteful, but they're such a economically part of Scotland that you kind of have to have it. It's a bit like the peacocks in a zoo. Nobody really cares about them that much, but you still need to have them. That's kind of what they're like here. So yeah, for me, the 5 is rain. And yeah, I miss it when it stops raining. Like, it stops raining and it gets sunny for too long, and I'm like, oh, it's too hot. Like, bring back the rain. And then it rains, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I'm like, okay, can it stop raining now and bring back some sun?
So I'm watching right now, and I'll see it get dark and then get light and get dark. Is it raining right now?
No, it just can't make its mind up what it's doing. It just likes to have tantrums. I think the clouds in Scotland, they just like to decide to mess with my lighting, then mess with it some more, then mess with it back again, which is why I had to get a light. Like, one of the first things I bought when I was making money off of YouTube was lighting, because I was like, and it takes the edge off now. You can't see it as much in my videos when the clouds do that, but I don't have any lighting just now. I'm relying purely on that, which is why you can see such the difference. And I was like, it bugged me when I'd be editing videos, because I do jump cuts. So like, one scene it would be light and then it'd be dark the next scene, but you wouldn't see the transition in because I'd be doing a jump cut.
5 things that you hate about America.
Oh, its reputation as being, I don't know, the reputation that they have of being loud and fat. I don't like that. I don't like the reputation. Certain political leaders that will go unnamed, but to be honest, I don't even like our political leaders, so that's nothing really unique to America. I think it's just most political leaders in the world just suck. Anything else that I hate about America? You drive on the wrong side of the road. I'm sorry, but you do, okay? There is a reason why we drive on the road side that we do, and it's because back in the day, you'd wield your sword with your right hand, because most people were right-handed. So if you're riding your horse here, you'd be on this side so that you could joust with your right hand, okay? And it came from that. So you guys drive on the wrong side of the road. I'm sorry. Number 4, you drive through red lights. Apparently, something to do with like a right or left turn, you can make it even if the light's red. That's bullshit. Like, I nearly got knocked down because of that, so that's just a stupid thing that you need to not do. And number 5, you will not share the cheese boy restaurants with us. We have Krispy Kreme and it's fine, and I love Krispy Kreme, but I want the cheese boy restaurants to come over, because that was what I was obsessed with when I was in Boston. But you aren't giving us to them because you are selfish.
Cheese boy, what is?
Cheese boy. I don't know if it's just a Boston thing then, but it's like a restaurant that does toasties, or I think you call them grilled cheesies, and it's like cheese in the middle of like a fried sandwich, and they're to die for. They're so
No, that's something we don't have down here. No.
Well, see, you are really, really selfish in the sense that it's only some of America that have it. You're not even sharing it with the rest of America.
No, I don't. I've never had those before. Really, I don't know what they are. I've got relatives and everything in Boston. I guess next time we go up there or something, we need to check that out or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just the place I went to had them, but it was a food court inside. We call it a centre, but I think you used to call them shopping malls. It was like a food court inside there, and I went and had a bagel first, because obviously I was in America, I had to have a bagel. And then it was after that, I saw this cheese boy thing, and I saw somebody walk by with one. I was like, oh, it looks really good, and I got one, and I had one every single day after that because they were so good.
Besides Cheese Boy and everything, what were some of your favorite restaurants or places to eat or food that you got to experience here in America?
Wendy's, that was really good to have like a proper burger and fries type of thing. We've got Five Guys have started to open up over here. I don't know if that's something that you guys have in America. It's like a American diner chain, and they're called Five Guys, but they've opened up here, and they're as close to America as I can get. So I try my best to go when I can. And it's like bucket full of fries and stuff, and it's really good. And they keep the potato skin on, which made me really happy. But other than that, what else did I did have a bagel as well from a bagel restaurant, but I can't remember what it was called.
Have you ever had sushi or anything?
Not a lover of sushi. So I had, a few years ago, I had this like seafood paella thing, which was like rice and different seafood, and I threw it up. So the texture of rice, I can't stand the texture of rice in my mouth, and it put me off a lot of seafoods as well. So sushi, no.
So being Scot and everything, you don't eat a lot of fish or seafood? You guys are known for the seafood.
Well, I do have cod and haddock. They're my two exceptions. I can stomach cod and haddock, but like prawns and mussels, if they're pickled, I'll have them. But yeah, prawns and stuff, I'm nah, not really keen on.
No. Well, I don't know how long we've been online or anything, but I don't know of anything else I can ask you. You've been a wonderful, wonderful guest. And what I'd like to do is down the road, maybe have you back on again. And in fact, when you do come to the States, I am totally serious. I would love for you to hook up with me, and me and my wife will show you around, and if you're with your friend and everything, take you around and show you Houston and some of the wonderful things that we have here, and one of the wonderful food restaurants that we have. We have tons of restaurants here. I'm kind of a foodie myself, so I enjoy going out and eating and trying different stuff and being exotic and all that stuff. So, but folks, we have had Mosco Moon on here, and I am so glad to have her. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure that you take the time and subscribe to my channel. Hit the little red button down there, and give me a thumbs up, and then just enjoy having. Hey folks, we've really enjoyed having Mosco Moon on here, and it's been a lot of fun. Mosco, it's been wonderful having you here. Folks, make sure that you do subscribe and give me a thumbs up and join my channel, join the movement, and remember to kilt on, folks. And in fact, Mosco, what I would love you to do is close us out with a typical Mosco Moon closeout.
So thanks very much, guys, and we will see you next time with another video. But until then, haste you back, guys.